Hi guys, so this is a video lesson on how to graph quadratics using the TI-84 graphing calculator. So what we're going to do is go back to Unit 2, Day 4 notes. I have them up here. And we're going to graph each pair in the graphing calculator. So this is intended to walk you step by step and then trace the vertex point. So the first thing you're going to do anytime you turn on your graphing calculator is clear the memory. So you're going to hit the blue second button, the plus symbol, and then the number 712, and that's going to clear your RAM so that you don't have anything stored in that may interfere with us inputting functions. So next you're going to hit y equals, which is this button here on the left. That is where you input functions. So remember, f of x and y are the same thing. So this is all set up to input it when y is by itself. So our first equation is in standard form. You're going to type in x squared minus 4x plus 4. So to get x next to your green alpha button, here it is, that's x. You'll learn all these, theta, all that, but you need the x. You're going to hit x, then you're going to square it. So you're going to hit the x squared button right here. And then you're just going to type minus 4x. So go back up and hit the x button, and then plus 4. Then you're going to use the cursor wheel and cursor down to y2, and you're going to put in the vertex form here in parentheses. So the parentheses are above the 8 and 9 button. So you're going to open a parenthesis. Oops, I am open 2. And you're going to put in x minus 2. So go back up to next to the green alpha button and hit x minus 2. Close the parenthesis and then hit x squared to square it. And now you're going to hit graph. So graph is all the way to the right in the gray buttons under the screen. You're going to hit graph. And there's our first. And then here comes our second. And what you should have noticed and what we talked about in class is they're the exact graph. Now in light blue right above the graph button is table. So you're going to hit second to get the light blue, second graph to get to the table of values. And you're going to see for all the x's, the y's are identical. It's the exact same function. Now you're going to look for, we know when we hit graph that we're going to have a minimum point here, okay? And you can see it's at 2, 0. If you can't see it, one way to do that is to go back into that table and look to see what your lowest y value is. So you can cursor wheel up to see more of the table, and what you're going to see here is at 2, x equals 2 is the lowest point, 2, 0. Now we already know that from class, and here's your symmetry. The y value is 1 on each side, then 4 on each side, and if I cursor wheel down, then 9 on each side. So you know that's your vertex 2, 0. Now the second way to find it, what if it's at a half or 3/4, is you're going to go and calc the maximum or minimum. So this graph has a minimum, so we're going to calc the minimum. So calc is in light blue right here, second button from your right, above trace. So it's in light blue, so we have to hit the light blue second button and trace, and now we're going to calc. Now we're going to go down to the minimum because for this function we're going to calc a minimum. So you're going to hit enter on number 3 for minimum, and it's going to ask you 3 questions. First question, what's the left bound? So we know the vertex is here, the minimum vertex. We need to be on the left side. So they're asking you to pick a point, and you'll see right here my cursor is blinking. So take your cursor to the left of your vertex and just hit enter. You're telling them where do you want it to go from. So from that left bound there, and then it's going to hit, when you hit enter, it's going to ask the right bound. So take your cursor wheel, trace your function to the right, and go past your vertex, your minimum. Somewhere on the right. You can be closer, you can be farther, but somewhere around there, and hit enter again. Then it's going to ask, hey, would you like me to guess where the vertex is? It's not really guessing. It's taking the 2 points on the left and right, tracing the function down to the lowest value. So all you have to do is hit enter again, and there's our minimum. It's at 2, 0. Okay, now it doesn't look like 0, but you know from scientific notation in like 6th or 7th grade, e to the 12th, negative 12 here, means move the decimal places 12 places to the left. If we keep going 12 places to the left, it's basically 0. So there's a little bit of thinking involved, reasoning skills here, where e to the negative 12 is such a tiny, tiny number, it rounds to 0. So our vertex is at 2, 0. Now let's do another set. So anytime you want to clear and quit out of this screen with the graphing, you can notice this little blue quit above the mode button. So you're going to hit second because it's light blue and hit mode, and you'll quit back to a regular screen. So let's do the second pair. So I'm going to hit y equals. If you want to clear out what's there, you just hit clear. And we're going to input the second pair, x squared plus 6x plus 8, and quantity x plus 3 squared minus 1. So again, for the x, you're going to hit next to the green alpha button, your x. We're going to square it by hitting x squared. And then we're going to hit plus 6x. You have to go back to that green alpha button for x, and plus 8. Then you're going to cursor wheel down to y2. And I already have it in there. I'm going to cursor over and make that minus sign a plus sign, make the 2 a 3. And then I'm just going to cursor over past the exponent, make sure you're out of the exponent. And then I'm going to do minus 1 to get the second vertex form in. Now I'm going to hit graph. And there's the first. And then there's the second. You'll see it goes slightly darker. All right, so again, they're the same function. One's in standard form, one's in vertex. So now I'm going to calc the minimum. It's a minimum again. So here is our calc. So it's in light blue, second trace. I'm going to go down to number 3. I'm going to choose minimum. And I need to be on the left side. So from the previous problem, I'm way over here blinking on the right side. You have to be to the left side of that vertex. So somewhere on this side, anywhere, hit enter. Then it's going to ask you right bound. You're going to cursor back and go past it to the right side. Hit enter. And then guess, it's not really guessing. You're going to hit enter the third time. And there's our minimum, negative 3, negative 1. It found it for you. No negative b over 2a. No converting to vertex form. When you're allowed technology, it'll give it to you. All right, and then the third one, I'm going to clear that out, and I'm going to type negative 3x squared. Now, minus sign and negative sign are different. You want negative 3. We're not doing an operation of minus, so you hit the white negative, the 3, and I need x squared, so I'm going to go back to the green alpha button, hit x and square it with my x squared button. Now I'm doing minus 12x, so I hit the gray minus 12x and minus 8. I'm going to cursor wheel down, and this time I'm going to clear it because I'm starting with the negative 3. The same a value is negative, so that's your white negative sign 3. Open a parenthesis above the 8 button. I'm going to input the x plus 2. I'm then going to, 2. I'm then going to close the parenthesis using the button above the 9. I need to square that whole parenthesis, so I'm going to square it with my x squared button. My exponent will pop up, and then I need plus 4. All right, so you'll double check, make sure they're in, and then you're going to hit graph. And this time, we're going to have a maximum. There's the first, there's the second, just went over it. I know they're the same function, and I have a max value here. So I'm going to hit second table just to show you this time. And that happens somewhere on the negative side here. Oops. So I'm going to cursor down, and I see that symmetry happening, 1, 1, negative 8, negative 23, negative 23. So I know right away my vertex is at negative 2, 4, and it's a maximum because when I look at the graph, I have a max point there. So now we're going to trace it, and we're going to find it without using the table. So here, again, calc is in light blue. We're going to hit second calc. This time I want a maximum, so I'm going to go down to number 4 and hit enter. And I need to be on the left side. My cursor's on the right blinking, so I'm going to go to the left until I go over the hump there where the max is, and I'm on the left side. And again, it can be anywhere on there. You want to be near it. And I'm going to hit enter. I'm on the left bound. There's my left side. Enter. It's going to come up with the next question, right bound, so I need to take that cursor over the hump to the right side. So I'm going to just go over that max and come somewhere on the right side, hit enter, and then it's going to take those 2 points and connect it up to hit the vertex. So when it says guess, you're just going to hit enter to verify, yes, I want the vertex, and there we go. Same vertex we found in the table, we find here on the screen by calcing it, -2, 4. And that is how you input functions into the graphing calculator, these quadratic functions, and also how you hit second trace to calc either number 3 or number 4, your min and max. All right, so you're going to go on to the quick classwork as part of the assignment today and just find the minimum or maximum using the graphing calculator for 5 quadratic functions. All right, and I will see you next block.